Have you ever visited a British seaside town? If you haven't, let me paint a picture for you. You are sat on a bench by the sandy beach with your family and you've decided to have a traditional fish and chips. Next thing you know, you've spent £20 on food just to get swarmed by seagulls and have your chips stolen. Whilst you're fending off the seagulls, you'll get abused by some lovely teenagers, but it's all part of the experience. However, that's not the case for our brand new town. In this video, we're going to start building Brixham Bay, a traditional seaside town where fishing boats would supply Kingsmere's feasts. Brixham is known for its old lighthouse. Although no longer functioning, it serves as a historical attraction with fantastic views of the bay. We will be laying down the foundations of our harbour and planning out some fishing routes. Although its close proximity to Kingsmere, Brixham is actually its own town. Separating the two is the Brixham River. So let's dive in. Welcome to Kingsmere, a UK inspired town with a sprinkle of my own creativity. I hope you enjoy. So in case you missed the live stream, you'll know in the last video we built this nice retail park with our IKEA and Costco. In the live stream we added a lovely custom car dealership that you can see below and a beautiful lorry park with a few custom lorry assets, and it all looks fantastic. I'm really happy with how it's turned out, but let's have a closer little look. So as I said, I did a live stream after work one day because I thought I wanted to add a few things and make a few adjustments, and this is kind of one of the key things that we've adjusted. We've finished off this kind of service station area, all custom built, as you can see, with our very own lorry park with our real life lorries, DPD. I've got the Royal Mail lorry working now. We've got a few larger abnormal load style lorries, DHL, Tesco's, FedEx, they're all there chilling, doing their thing. And then we've built this makeshift pretend kind of service station, as you can see, a little petrol station with an in-building there, and then a small little kind of services where you'd pop in and grab a coffee or a few snacks from WH Smith or similar, you know what I mean. And then just on the other side here, we had a great suggestion on the stream that we should build a car dealership, and that's exactly what we did. And it looks really good. This is all custom, absolutely head to toe custom. If you want to see how I built this, feel free to watch the live stream, but it's fantastic. There's a nice few details in there. For example, we've got the Tesla, the Mustang Mach-E and the Peugeot all on car stands outside City's Car Customs. Excuse me, sir, get out the way. And then out here we've got a few cars that are for sale in the kind of showroom rank. Excuse me, sir, get out the way. A couple motorbikes for sale as well, and a few more used approved cars. We've added in this garage unit to the side as well for servicing and all that stuff. Over on the other side we've got some customer parking, as you can see by the writing, and we've got this nice car transporter delivering some brand new saloons. And then over here we've got a very own custom car wash, as you can see. Looks really cool actually, it's really nice, which is all added in the nice sort of effects here. So this kind of gives the retail park a bit more life. I must admit I do like the look of it now. And then over here we just added a few more buildings, a couple more shops, as you can see. And then over here we've got a little restaurant as well for people that want to come and eat. So yeah, pretty cool if you ask me. So Kingsmere is quite sizable now. It's getting rather large, as you can see. And yes, I have heard you in the comments. We need to move the solar farm, which we will do at a later date. Its time will come to be moved. Probably when we start placing down and building in this area, we'll put St Paul's Cathedral and we'll go from there. But our nice financial district's looking all right, not too bad at all. And then the town itself looks pretty nice. Looks relatively British if you ask me. Really happy with the way that it's looking. We'll keep on having a couple of views. Fan dabby dozy. And then this is our old town. This is the original Kingsmere, which again looks beautiful, especially in this sunlight. But Brixham Bay and Brixham Town, this lovely peninsula on the edge of the map, looks really good. And this is going to be where Brixham Bay is going to be born, with our lighthouse right on the tip of the peninsula down here, and then we'll have some sort of small harbour for fishing. We'll send some fishing boats out, and we'll try and maybe terraform it a little bit to have kind of a traditional small British beach potentially. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. And then this is going to be the Brixham River, the river that kind of splits Kingsmere and Brixham. We'll rename that the Brixham River. And then over this side is just going to be housing actually the village of Brixham. As you can see, we've got this custom roundabout which I've made, where we've got a traditional fishing boat in the centre. It's kind of paid tribute to all the fishermen or fisher people really, that were obviously fishing out here and supplying the city. So yeah, pretty good, and I'm really excited for this one. So let's crack on. So as you can see, we've already actually made Brixham Bay its own kind of district, and then the little town of Brixham is here as well, which is basically within that area. We're going to focus on this section in today's video. We're just going to lay down the foundations, plan out how we want it to look. We might be building these over a few episodes because I like to go into detail and I get a little bit carried away, which means I take a very long time. But first things first, what I would like to do is actually create a district of this river, which is going to simply run alongside the riverbank, and we're just going to rename it to the Brixham River, just so that we kind of have that sort of continuity that this is the Brixham River and nothing else, and hopefully it'll pop up a nice little name tag for us as well, to make it kind of official, because I think it'd be a nice touch, just a nice small addition for us to have for the river to be actually named after this the town. And there we go, simple as that. Brixham River has been renamed. Cool. Now, next things next, or first things first, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to pick up all of these trees and just make a nice kind of sterile area for us to start planning out our builds. Because nothing is worse than doing all of that planning and then it all just goes a little bit wrong and it doesn't end up looking very good. So I'm just going to pick up as much of these trees as possible. I need to be somewhat careful that I don't over destroy them, because I've got a few assets placed down which might be affected if I go a little bit too crazy with taking away the trees. So what I might do is I might just loosely do it like this and then like that, just for the time being, and then we can just manually clean up the extra tree. Oh no, that's not what I wanted to do. The whole point of me being careful was to not destroy that. However, you know what? Why not just ruin everything? Live, caught in 4K, whatever. Now, the very first thing that I want to do, I'm actually gonna... No, I'm not going to destroy you just yet. So I've downloaded this quite cool mod, or asset, whatever it is, where you basically have like different styles of bridges that you can add in to... basically, you've got to place it down and then give it a bit of a move it around, and hopefully it kind of fits. So I'm going to go ahead and just see how this works. It might not work, it might work very well. We don't know until we try it. So let's give it a go, because then it might actually give us a nice, awesome looking traditional bridge kind of on the entrance in. I think that'd be really cool to do. So let's... I hope I've picked the right thing. Yeah, I have. And now let's just kind of move that down and see what happens, because you never know, it could work a treat. Right, so I need to kind of tuck that low enough so that it kind of fits, and we also need to get it at the right sort of angle too, so that it's kind of in the correct sort of line. But we don't want it to peek through there though, that's the thing. So that seems okay. I think it's just slightly too high in that sort of sense. Maybe about there, and then if we rotate it so it sits a little bit more flush. I think that's better already. How tall are you? We need to kind of do the truck test, is my preferred test to make sure everything fits. So let's grab a big fat HGV tractor unit, or several, just the one actually, and as you can see the clearance on that is absolutely fine. Let's also try it with the trailer. Absolutely loads of room. So yeah, that's some pretty good clearance. Obviously that's going to be too high, so we just probably need to make the drivers aware that they need to be careful if they're going to use this bridge, because you can't have any high vehicles. But that's looking handsome as ever. And now what we want to do is we want to do exactly the same. We want to place it down. You know, I'm just going to place it here. And then we're going to try and just basically duplicate this to that side, and hopefully it will look all right. So we have been a bit generous with the bushes around the outside to cover up the hideous kind of ground sharpness movements, but I think that looks pretty good actually. That looks a lot better than before. 100%. I think that's pretty good work there, to be honest. Obviously we've got it the other side as well, which it just kind of looks traditional old sort of bridge, kind of something that you would see in the UK. So yeah, really happy with that. So the next thing we're going to work on is put down our beautiful lighthouse, which is kind of the symbol of Brixham really. So we're just trying to create a bit of space for it initially. Nothing too crazy. We're not going to terraform that much until we've kind of placed it down and have an idea of what we want. But the idea is it will be kind of right on the edge here, and you can actually go up and go into the viewpoint. It is a tourist attraction, and on there obviously you can have a great view of the castle, a great view of down here, obviously a great view of the old war memorials and the old town. You'll look over all of Brixham Bay, and you'll also have the fantastic view of across the bay and then out into the sea. So it'll be a really nice location to kind of be at. So let's find ourselves a nice lighthouse. Ideally the largest one, maybe. Oh well, I mean that's a large lighthouse, but this doesn't look that large. What kind of upgrades can we do? Nothing on that one. Maybe I should search lighthouse and see what we've got, which is nothing because I'm in the truck section. Large lighthouse 1, large lighthouse 2, old lighthouse. Oh, that's a good sort of size, isn't it? That's a pretty healthy, sizable lighthouse. I quite like the look of that. Let's just have a little look. That's old lighthouse 2, which has a few kind of bushes around it, and then we've got a couple of small ones, but I think they're going to be a bit too small. I think we should use this one. I think that looks good, and I'm really sure it might have some upgrades, hopefully. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put that down there and just check to see if it's got upgrades. Oh, it does, which is great. So that's a cool little building as well, which could be part of it. And then that's another little awesome looking building too that we could make part of it. Okay, so we have the idea. I'm going to mess around with how we're going to place these and then go from there. So I'm just in the progress of trying to mess around with this idea by putting down some individual paths, as you can probably see. Just to try to create something quite nice and sort of symbolic, traditional, historic, that people would love to come and visit. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do over here. So I'm just trying to lay down the initial foundations. We're going to need to try our very best to create a slope for a road to access our nice looking lighthouse. So what we're going to do is we're going to try it from here. Just try our best to create some sort of slope that will give us a decent sort of access. I might even start it from a bit further away so that it's a little bit smoother, because I don't want it to be too tough to get up there. I mean, that's not awful, but it's not perfect either, is it? And we need to kind of think about what kind of road really we want to try and get in. So an alley would be good sort of size. It's the right sort of size, which is great. I might actually change this so it's not a straight road and actually have it curved round or similar, or round that way and drop in here potentially. I'm just trying to think of the best kind of way to do that. Like whereabouts really we'd want it to curve to is the question, if you know what I mean. Yeah, cool. Right, I'm going to change that. Maybe we'll have it curve one way or another. One way or another. Okay, so we've added a few additions. So we've got the road going up this way. Then we've got our 3 buildings for the lighthouse and a couple of pathways. We've gone around the edge with these stones. I don't think they look too bad. I don't think they're perfect by any means. But I think it can probably stay for the time being. And then all we need to kind of do is just detail up here a little bit. And then kind of go from there and see where we're at. But I think this is going to be quite a nice little tourist location though. I think it's going to look fantastic. Really, really good, hopefully. So we'll crack on and try and detail this a little bit, see where we end up, and then go from there. Well, we've done a bit of detailing on our lighthouse and it's looking kind of cool, you know. It looks pretty cool. So we got some car parking down here, because kind of, as you know, if it's a bit of a touristy attraction, you need a little bit of car parking. So I've just added a little bit down here at a slightly lower level. You can come up here and park up. This road up here is really only for like disabled access, drop off, stuff like that. But then up here at the lighthouse, it's looking beautiful. Plenty of places to sit and eat, as you can see. Bike parking if you want to cycle up here. A nice little viewing deck as well, which will be obviously packed with people when this is actually connected up to something. But all in all, I think that's a great little area for our lighthouse, to be honest. I think that looks pretty good if you ask me. Really, really happy with how that's kind of turned out. Let me know what you think, but I think that's pretty cool. I might actually change the name of this road to, can you guess? Lighthouse Lane. Lighthouse Lane, and this is obviously the Brixham Lighthouse, as you can see. But yeah, I think that's a kind of beautiful little addition. I think that looks really, really cool. That's going to be super nice once we kind of put a bit more building down over in Brixham Bay, actually, this section. But yeah, it looks really cool. I am happy with that. That's a cute little area to begin with. The next thing I'm probably going to focus on is I'm either going to try and adjust this coastline so we get just a little bit of beach, just a tiny little bit of beach. I'll give it a go, see what happens. Alternatively, I might start creating kind of a bit of a bay sort of area. I'm not entirely sure just yet what the next step is going to be. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with the kind of breakwater and skeleton for our harbour. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into our parts and we're actually going to use either this solid kind of breakwater sort of pier. I think that'll be kind of a good way to shape it. I think that one's just a little bit too thin, so I think the medium's probably fine. I think the large is probably going to be too large. Let's just have a look at that compared to the medium. I think the medium is probably more appropriate because this isn't going to be absolutely massive at all. This is just going to be a traditional average sort of size kind of harbour. So what I might do is try to kind of sketch out a little bit of a plan here. So I'd quite like to have maybe something like that kind of comes out kind of at a sharp angle. Maybe something like that, and then I need to think about what I'm doing here. So I'm kind of in the process of trying to build a kind of small to medium sized kind of harbour area with kind of a small little breakwater coming out this end and then a little one out here. But I feel like this one probably should come out a little bit more. I don't feel like that's kind of long enough, so potentially if we were to just bring that out like that and then just bring it over ever so slightly, something like potentially this, or is that too enclosed? Or maybe we should just adjust the angle of that one slightly and bring it out kind of at this angle. Let's just get rid of this for a second. Maybe not. Maybe draw it back a little bit. It's quite hard to do. I have kind of no experience, not really much exposure to harbours, to be honest with you. So I'm just kind of trying to wing it to try and make it look somewhat okay. It's actually harder than you think trying to do it when you don't really have a massive understanding of what you're doing. But baby steps, baby steps. So I kind of want this just to be a traditional sort of harbour. We'll place a few boats within here and then kind of go from there. And we'll start building kind of around it as well. So that's kind of the initial idea. How that'll look in the end, I don't know, but we don't know until we try. So what I'm going to start doing, if we go into here, you can see that we've got several different types of boats, absolutely loads of them. I'm kind of hoping that we might be able to place a few of these down, make our harbour feel just a little bit more, kind of bring it to life a bit, you know what I mean? So we're going to give that a go, see what happens. We might like it, we might not, but you don't know until you try. So let's just give it a go. So I'm going to put some of the larger kind of boats on the outskirts over here. I do want a bit of variation. The only problem is a lot of these aren't actually that large. A lot of them are quite small, as you can probably see. So it does make it just a little bit difficult to kind of get all large boats, if you know what I mean. So we'll just kind of give it a go, see what we end up with, kind of go from there. But we can't have all of those looking the same, that'll be silly. I'm just working on a little bit of trying to make it feel a bit more harbour-y. So I'm adding a couple of little lookout harbour things, pier kiosks, whatever you call them. And you can see that I've added a few boats and a few buoys and stuff like that. And then this larger boat on the outside just for effect, really. I want to try and put a few of these kind of along the piers so they don't just feel empty, because they do just feel empty at the moment. So I just want to add just a couple of these here and there, just to kind of bring it to life just a little bit, because it does look very, very dull at the minute, doesn't it? Very dull. So maybe one like that. We'll probably put one over here as well somewhere. Raise that up slightly. Maybe something like that. Maybe one down here too. And we've got plenty of space to put them down, and it just, you know, just gives it a little bit more life, because it feels very boring here at the minute. Very boring. So yeah, we'll just add a few of these in here and there and hope that this starts to look a little bit more lively. I think we need a smaller one for this side. Let's have a little look at you. Oh god, that's tight, isn't it? It's quite a squeeze. But I think we can make it work. That's the bigger one, isn't it? Oops. Another small one would be great. Give it a twirl. And hopefully land that onto there. And make it a little bit taller. Something like that. Okay, great. And then we'll try and grab a few of these kind of nets and stuff like that, and just kind of place them alongside some of these boats. It's annoying that I have to do it this way, because if I just place it normally, then it'll kind of just disappear into the abyss. So we'll do it this way, place a few nets, and then a few of these little rope hooks as well would help us out with our haughty sort of feel. Because, you know, if it ain't hooked up, it ain't going to stay there, son, I'll tell you that much. Put that a little bit closer. And I'll kind of do that sort of thing around the harbour, try and make it look a little bit nicer, and then kind of go from there. So whilst I'm focusing on the harbour sort of section, I'm trying to integrate some fishing services as well. So as you can see, I've set up some outdoor open water fishing over here. And then we've got a little fishing, I don't really know what you call it, fish place just over it here on the coast. So all of our lovely fish people are going to go out into the ocean to these particular sections and hopefully start bringing in a little bit of fish. Would be pretty helpful to us, really quite useful. So we've initially just placed that down here just for the time being. I know it all feels a little bit empty and doesn't look too great at the minute, but once we actually build this out and make it look cool, I think this is going to look fantastic. You just got to trust the process. It is a slow process, I will admit that. It is a very slow process, but it just kind of is what it is. So we just got to do it, you know. No, that's not what I was looking for. I'm looking for, what am I looking for? I want to say that I'm looking for some of these water things. If you know what I mean. These. I want a couple of these just along the edge here to kind of deflect some of the waves that we may end up having in here. So I'm just going to put them down, and then we're going to just adjust them slightly so that they kind of sit a little bit better within this kind of section, just to kind of deflect some of the water, because we don't want any water kind of coming through that way, do we? But that's okay. We're gonna grab a road that doesn't have any markings, and we're gonna just connect that up for the time being. And what we might do is we might just bring this asymmetrical road just down to here for now, in the kind of hope that this might begin to work. So let's just hook that up to there for the time being. I just want to hook it up so we can see if it actually works, because if it doesn't, we can try and figure it out. So we'll just let it run for a little bit, see what kind of happens, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's what it is. We'll figure it out. We'll make it work. Yeah, so no dramas at all. Now, oh, there's so much to do that I can't just like pin one thing down and kind of crack on with it. It's kind of annoying, but it is what it is. Why is there only one employee? Am I missing something? Why is there only one employee for this entire fishy place? Doesn't really make much sense. Do we need some storage, potentially? We just whack a little... I want to kind of try to make this a bit grim and horrible. You know, like traditional old disgusting sort of fishing area. That's what I kind of want to go with. Sounds a bit weird, but that's what I want to happen. It seems to be working now. It just took a little bit of time. I think because we added the storage, that might have helped. So hopefully we should see some fish coming in and out sometime soon. It won't be that productive because we haven't really got any people living down here and working local, so it might be a little bit rubbish for the time being, but it's fine. We'll make it work. We'll make it work. It's all right. Don't cry. It's fine. So I might start maybe in this sort of area, just building kind of like a bit of a boat storage harbour sort of thing, and just kind of go from there. I might consider maybe trying to put a ramp down here as well into the water for the boats, so we'll give that a go. Okay, so the ramp is somewhat complete, which looks decent enough. Good sort of smooth entrance, few decals and surfaces in there to kind of make it look all right, and I'm kind of happy with how the ramp looks, which is a good start. It's a start, and that's what it is. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of utilize the concrete surface that we've already placed down, and we're going to start concreting out quite a lot of this area to make kind of quite a large, or much bigger than our original one, shipyard. So when I say shipyard, just kind of boatyard, harbour yard, whatever you want to call it, where all of the boats are kind of stored, worked on, kind of over, you know, the winter period, where you make your boats a little bit better, a little bit nicer for when the summer comes along, and then you're ready to roll, and you either get ramped in or you get crane lifted in or whatever. So I'm just going to start off with by just making a big sort of area. That's, well, I say big, average sort of area, just to begin with, made of concrete. And then once we've done that, we're going to start kind of filling out a lot of the space within that to kind of try to put together some sort of boatyard and just see how it ends up looking and whether or not it looks alright. If not, it doesn't. We'll just try. We'll see what happens. Okay, so a quick progress update. First things first, actually, our nice little fish farm or fish place is turning up a decent profit, which is great. But obviously we don't have many employees, so once we've got enough employees, that's going to start making some dollar bills. But that will happen later down the line when we've got houses around here. But we've made some progress on our harbour. As you can see, we've got loads going on in here. Lots of boats, a crane for the big boats, many smaller boats, cars with trailers, cargo holds, heavy machinery sort of dotted around as well, a few trailers with a few goodies for the boats, fencing around all of it, which is great. Yeah, so it looks pretty cool. The main thing with these though is the surfaces and the decals that actually make a big difference. So let's start off with a few of those and kind of just see where we end up, to be honest, because yeah, there's no harm in just decorating it and just kind of seeing what happens in the end. And it doesn't have to be precise or anything. We can kind of just do what we really want to. The almost random placement actually makes it kind of unique in a way. It just kind of brings a certain vibe to it, which is what we like to see. So we want it to be nice and kind of dirty. As you can see, that this surface is doing a really good job of making it really quite grim and horrible, kind of like a workspace, like a dirty kind of workstation. So that's a great addition, and we'll keep placing kind of surfaces around the port to kind of emphasize that feeling, which should hopefully be good. We'll have probably a little turning circle around there ish to make it look like that's kind of the main area where vehicles are spinning. I think that one's probably a bit too light, isn't it? I say that it's too light. It's the same sort of light as the other one, but if we just add a few kind of dark patches within here, it might be alright, but it's already looking so much better with all of that dirt and cracks and stuff placed down. That's great. I love to see it. But I think this will actually start to come together and look quite good. But yeah, as you can see, it's pretty decent, and it only takes a few minutes to place this sort of stuff down, which again is a Billy bonus, but it makes a whole world of difference when it comes to looking at the port. As you can see, the harbour, sorry, I don't know why I keep calling it a port. But yeah, I think that looks pretty cool. That's a nice looking addition, certainly adds a little bit to this harbour section as well, so it kind of gives it that seaside town sort of vibe at the minute, but there's so much work to do on this. If I told you that this is probably about 35 minutes into what you see, I've been sat here for probably about 4 hours, 4.5 hours, so I condense it down a lot. It's a lot of work to kind of try and get this right, because I keep doing it and then undoing it and then doing it again and undoing it again. Yeah, it's a nightmare. Try living in my brain. It's never fun. But yeah, it's cool though. We are doing pretty cool. I don't like this surface on the fish place, so I might actually replace that surface with the same sort of stuff that we've got here. Kind of autosave. It's been a while, Mr. Autosave. Just kind of try to just make it fit in a little bit better, and then if we just kind of dirty up the fish bay as well, it might put you off wanting to eat food from here, but it's all right. No dramas, mate. The fish is good. Trust me, the fish is good. And then we just need to extend a few of these surfaces as well, just to kind of keep it looking good. So cover that off to the road so it looks kind of complete. This one is just a bit meh, so we'll get rid of that. Do we want that green area in the middle? Not sure. Are we going to need more storage? Probably at some point, so I might make use of a little bit of the area, maybe just around this section, I reckon. Just add a kind of a large storage section, and then we can kind of integrate this into kind of one sort of kind of storage industrial unit sort of section, you know. So maybe even add one onto the coastline there, and it just looks like a large sort of factory, which is quite cool. Branch that road out just a tad. Just like that. Why have I got that on? Sorry about that. Just bring that out so that there is a road connection. And now everybody's unhappy with me. Why don't you like me? There we go. That's fitting in. And then all we need to do with those is just go ahead and replace those surfaces again so it kind of matches. And then we might have to just drag them out a little bit, but it will start to feel like a proper sort of, you know, fishing sort of area. Like there's a lot of work going on in this part, and then we'll maybe do some more coastal sort of stuff that's not in kind of industrial based down here. But yeah, there's loads to do for this area. It's crazy. I'm just gonna start branching out a small sort of road connection out the back of our kind of harbour area, just with the intention of kind of bringing it up this way, and maybe linking up here somehow. What I don't like is how large the small roads feel. I feel like they just are too large. I might even make that smaller, because it just feels way too big. Way too big. hook that into there, and maybe we'll start getting some visitors over to our lighthouse as well, which would be fantastic. But yes, with my real life schedule, this build of Brixham Bay is going to take a lot of time, and it's going to be probably split into a few episodes because I want to enjoy it and get it right, or try, at least in my opinion, try to get it right. So we'll try and kind of work on it when we can, make some decent progress, but already it's looking quite cool. But it's just going to take a lot of time to get it right, and we'll do it. We'll make it right. It's no problem at all. But we've just got to be patient and hope that, although it seems like we're not doing a lot, maybe in per episode, we actually are, like, behind the scenes. I'm working quite hard to try and get all the details in there, if you know what I mean. But yeah, all is cool. I'm gonna probably leave it here for the time being, just for this video. I know it probably feels like, oh, you haven't done much, but we've made progress, and I want this area to be cool, and we will make it British as well, of course. It doesn't look too British at the minute, but it will. So yeah, patience is a virtue. We will get there, but nevertheless, this is a good start to Brixham Bay. It is a good start, and it fits the kind of fisherman's town vibe at the moment. And obviously, when we build it up with a few more British things, it will also feel very British as well. So yeah, I really like it. I hope you've enjoyed what I've started with. You probably won't be able to see the vision just yet, but there is a vision, and hopefully in the future we will make it make sense. But nevertheless, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one, where we'll continue Brixham Bay. Good night.